Hi everybody, it is Monday, September the 21st, and we are going to be starting out today talking about representing numbers, how you can read and write three-digit numbers. Our learning objective for today is I will read and write three-digit numbers. So in second grade, you actually learned how to represent numbers in different ways. We're going to continue on with that today, and we're going to do that with three-digit numbers. You know how to read two-digit numbers because you did that again in second grade. Today, you're going to learn how to read and write three-digit numbers. And I want you to just think about this situation and make a connection with something in the real world. Our school library has more than 500 books. Now, that's an estimate because it's saying more than. We're not really sure exactly how many. We know that it's more than 500. Can you name another collection that may have about more than 500 items? So think about things that you've seen in the real world, and is there a collection out there that you know has more than 500? Because that's what we're going to be thinking about today is those three-digit numbers. Now, today for our class, I would like for you to have a notebook that has a place for you to write some vocabulary words in, because with rounding, and I should have mentioned that when we did our rounding, we had rounding that we should have put in there as a definition and benchmark numbers. And I may have you to go back and add those. You can look those up online to get the definition for those. So go ahead and add those to your vocabulary words that we're going to start today. So if you don't care and you don't, if you've got paper and pencil handy in a little folder or in a notebook, that would be perfect so that you can have a space to write vocabulary words, because vocabulary in mathematics is very important so that you understand what we're talking about. So we're going to start out with our vocabulary first. Your first vocabulary word today is digit. Digit means a number that is from 0 to 9. So if I say the number 9, that is a digit in the ones place. If I say 59, the 5 is a digit in the tens place, and its value is worth 50. So a digit is the symbol of 0 through 9, used to write numbers. So it's 0 through 9, and it's used to write numbers. Digit. Place value. Place value tells us the value of each digit in a number according to its position in that number. So I just said earlier that 5 was in the tens place and its value is 50. It's not just a 5. It's a digit in the tens place, but its true value is 50. So place value tells the value of each digit in a number according to its position in the number. That's very important. If I'm going to say I will pay you 5, is it 500? Is it 5 tens? Is it 5 ones? If I'm going to say I'm going to pay you 5, you might want to know what place value that's going to be. That's going to be important when you take a job, or if you're working by the hour. It's going to be very important to know exactly how much you're going to get per hour. So place value is important in our world, and it's what our number system is based on. So that's a very important term for you as well. The next one's going to be standard form. And when we start talking about these, you're going to remember these from second grade. We're just going to make the numbers just a little bit larger. So standard form means a number written in a way to only show the digits. So for example, if I'm writing the number 385, I'm just going to put 3 in the hundreds place, 8 in the tens place, and a 5 in the ones place. The next one is expanded form, and the reason why we're going to be learning this one is because we're going to use it to help us add and subtract in the very near future. So it's going to make addition and subtraction much easier for us because we're not learning how to use the standard algorithm in third grade. You learn that in fourth grade. That's when you apply those is in fourth grade. So for this classroom, we're going to be using that expanded form, thinking about how we can put numbers together based on their place value. So expanded form is a number written as the sum of the values of its digits. So if I have the number 2,476, and remember it says the word sum means I'm going to be adding something. So in 2,476, I'm going to write 2,000 because that 2 is in the thousands place. I'm going to write 400 because that 4 digit is in the is in hundreds place. I think I said something wrong there about that 2. That 2 is in the 2000s place, so it's going to be written as 2000. The 4 is in the hundreds place, so I'm going to write it as plus 400. The 7 is in the tens place, so it's 70 plus 6, which is in the ones place. So if I were writing that in standard form, it would be written this way, but expanded form, I'm going to pull that number apart. I say I like to stretch it open so you can actually see the actual value of that digit. Word form is a number written in words. We're going to write it just like we say it. So if I'm going to write this number, 125, I'm going to write it out, 125. And you're always going to put a little hyphen in between the tens and the ones place. So if there's a digit in the ones place, you're going to put a hyphen, 25. So in this case, I'm going to write that number just like I would say it. And sometimes that's hard for us to translate it, but if we're writing exactly what we say, then the word form works out well. There's one other that you're going to see today that is not on this sheet. It's called pictorial. Pictorial means that I'm going to draw a picture of it using my knowledge of place value blocks. I could draw a hundreds block and my tens if I need to. In this case, I would draw one hundreds block, 2 of the 10 rods, and then 5 of the small little blocks that represent the ones in place value. So you can use that as well. Today we can't do our small group interaction, but I'm going to give you 3 numbers, and I want you to think about how those numbers would look if we were doing it from a pictorial form to standard form. So if I were to say to you 372, could you write that in standard form, word form, and expanded form? So that's what we're going to be working on for the next few days. So let's look at this particular visualization. And again, I would love for you to think about these problems when I'm reading them to you. I want you to visualize them. It's very important that when we're talking about math, that we can visualize it. Just like that problem with the bikes and the trikes the other day. I want you to be able to see that a bike has 2 wheels and a trike has 3. So then you will know how to break those numbers up in your mind. It makes it easier for us to see visually what that should look like. So in this particular case, in 2013, there were about 350 wild Bactrim camels in Mongolia. How would you use place value chart to show the number 350? What is the value of the 3 digit? So I want you to think about that. What is the value of the 5 digit? Show that number using base 10 blocks. And what I want you to do is I want you to draw those on a piece of paper right now while you're looking at those. Think about how you would represent the number 350 using base 10 blocks. And you can even go to our virtual manipulatives. If you go up to my website, you can actually pull that up on a screen and make that number using those place value blocks. And I would love for you to do that. So that would help you see visually what that number should look like. So open that tab up, pause the video, open that tab up, and make that number 350. Make a few other numbers as well so that you can actually see what that would look like if you took those blocks and made up a number. So come up with a number on your own after you do this one. Do a few of them and make those numbers with those place value blocks so you can actually see going from a pictorial version to a standard form of that number. And then vice versa, take that standard form and make a picture to match it. How would you use a place value chart to show 350? So we're gonna look at if you were to put this number in place value, what digit would go in the ones place? If you're looking up here at this place value chart or this number, we're going based on the place value chart. This first digit on the right is the ones. and we have a digit of 0 there, so it's going to be 0. In the tens place, we have 5. And in the ones, or in the hundreds place, we have a 3. Now, if we were to show 305 in the place value chart, how would it look different? So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. And we're going to see how it would look different just by changing the number. And we want to think about value as well. Which one has the most value? So place value helps us know which numbers are larger, where we're getting the most money if we're getting paid. So in this case, if I'm looking at this, I can't compare. I can't even think about here because the numbers are the same. So they're both 300. But here's where things start to change. If I'm looking at the place value chart and this tens place value, that 5 is much greater than 0. So this number is going to be the largest. It looks completely different because even though it's the same numbers, when you change them around, the value of the number changes. Here we have 5 ones, but if it's still here is where the value is. We have a larger value in the top number at 350 than we do at 305. So today you're going to be working on an IXL assignment where you're taking pictures and you're changing those into place value. Read them closely. They're wanting you to tell the value of the digit that's in there. I would like to see a 100 SMART score. And if you receive a 100 SMART score, you will receive 10 points for today's assignment. Um, Anything less than that, you will get less of a grade. So try to get that up to 100. Take your time. If you miss a question, always, always, always look at the explanation so that you can not make that same mistake again. That explanation tells you in detail how you got it incorrect. So make sure you always look at that. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope this lesson helped.